Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me today. So I can't tell you guys how intimidating it is to be the only guy in the room who doesn't speak Spanish. You can tell any joke you want about me and it'll go right over my head. Is this the slides I gave you or connected to here? Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right, so how many of you are familiar with Deseret Digital Media, aside from knowing Matt Sanders? Wow, not very many. Those of you that know Matt Sanders, don't hold that against the rest of us from Deseret Digital Media. So Deseret Digital Media is the largest digital media company in the state of Utah, which isn't saying a lot because Utah is like the 33rd largest DMA in the United States. But we do have a couple of claims to fame. So we actually have a classifieds product that's larger than Craigslist in Utah. We think we're the only market in the world that has a classifieds product larger than Craigslist. We're actually 10 times Craigslist in our market. But interestingly, when we got there, Deseret Digital Media was launched in October of 2009. When we got there, the focus of the organization was really on news. So we own a site, ksl.com, which is the largest breaking news website in Utah, and then we also own deseretnews.com. And really the focus was on those businesses, but we had this huge audience, and we really hadn't spent any time figuring out how to monetize it. So what we looked at when we first got there 4.5 years ago, meaning the marketplace group, we started with 4 of us. To give some context to this conversation, today, 4.5 years later, we're at 65 individuals on our team, and we bootstrapped that. We grew this business from the ground up, but we focused on a couple of things. What's making it difficult to make money on the news side? The first thing we said was mobile, right? We all know this, mobile's disrupting our space, but the second one is we as media professionals, we make it difficult to make money in the media business, and I'll show you a couple examples of that. So then we started figuring out how do we reimagine revenue? What are new ways to find revenue, and how do we make sure that that revenue is both applicable on a desktop, a tablet, and a phone-sized screen? And then the strategies that we use, I'll show you the kind of people we hire, but none of us were in media before we got to the company. The strategies that we use, we pull from our old e-commerce experience, which are first and foremost, listen to your customers, and then solve for their needs, find out what they want, and build products. Protect yourself from disruption, and then continually evolve. So as I mentioned before, we in media, all of us in this room, I can say this because I'm one of you, we're killing our business model. We have done so for probably 20 years. I'll show you a graph that shows how we've done that. When we first got there, we went out and we asked a bunch of customers a bunch of questions about all of our products. We sat in focus groups, we sent out usability surveys, we brought people in one-on-one interviews and asked them to use our product. And in every single instance, over 100 different instances, unsolicited, I wasn't asking them to tell me how they like the ads on the site. I was asking them about product features on the site. In every instance, they said, I don't like all of the ads on your site. So I go back and say, hey, sales execs, leadership, do you guys know that nobody likes our websites that we're putting all of this great content on? Nobody likes it. And their response always was, yeah, they've always said that. Which is a huge red flag, right? If your people who are coming to consume your product don't actually like consuming the product because all of the things you put around it, that should be a big red flag. We're doing something wrong. So then I went and said, well, maybe they're right, and I used some examples. So I pulled this screen grab. This is one of the sites that we manage at KSL. This is an automotive site. You really can't see the site because of all of the ads all around. But I actually didn't pull this screen grab. This guy, his name's JSliceEEE. He tweeted this screen grab. Paul Lima thinks this is super funny over there, but this is what we put in front of our customers every day. This guy tweeted out, think you have enough ads, ksl.com? Ridiculous. So he doesn't have a lot of reach. I mean, he had 3 of his followers retweeted it, but if you add up the total reach of those 4 people, over 500 people had one of their peers show them a product of ours that they didn't like. And I couldn't do anything about it. Because all of your consumers can do the same thing. They have access to a social megaphone. Here's another problem that we have. So because we in media wouldn't address this, the large behemoths in our industry are addressing it. Facebook now allows you, as a consumer, a user of Facebook, to select which type of ads you want to see. How many are aware that Mozilla launched a product in the last year where they allow consumers to opt out of ads? 100%. What about Google? How many of you are aware that for at least 5 to 10 years, Google has been putting in their algorithm to rank your site lower if you have too many ads in first view? How many of you know that? So all you sales execs out there who are like, let's just slap another ad on the site, you're actually harming your business because Google's pinging you for it and they're showing you up lower in rankings. How about Google Contributor? Anybody use Google Contributor? Anybody know, how many know in this audience what Google Contributor is? Google Contributor is a product they launched last year. You two guys back there know everything about this. I love it. Google launched last year a partnership with some large companies, one of whom is Mashable. How many are familiar with Mashable? Big aggregator of tech news, well, all things news. They launched a product where they go and partner with Mashable, where they'll put up a paywall for Mashable, charge consumers. If a consumer does not want to see any ads on Mashable, they can pay Mashable a monthly subscription through Google, and Google will remove the ads off of the site. What about Apple? How many of you are using an iPhone today? So how many are using iOS 8? So iOS 8 was launched about a year ago. How many use the Tips app that's in iOS 8? It's an Apple product. It comes pre-installed on your phone and you cannot take it off. You can turn off notifications. But one of the notifications that I got in the last year, Apple popped on my screen. I picked up my phone in the morning. There was a tip on there that says, you want to get rid of clutter on your website? Click here, we'll show you how. Apple's now training its customers how to remove ads from news content websites through Apple's product. Why are all of these large? Oh, and how many have heard what Apple's thinking of doing with their new Safari release? Allowing consumers to opt out of ads. So all of these major companies have listened to their customers, and their customers have said something about our customers. They've said, your customers don't like all the ads you put on your site. You guys haven't been willing to do anything about it, so we're going to do it. So basically, Google, Mozilla, Apple, Facebook, they've taken our business model and they own it. Whether we're sending our ads to them or not, they've taken our business model away. So 4.5 years ago, we stood up and we said, display advertising is a tough business model and we better figure out a new pony. So let's talk about how we've done this for ourselves. So banner blindness, everybody in here knows what that is. How many of you guys, I can't wait to hear how the translator translates this one. How many of you have ever read The Law of Shitty Click-Throughs? Google that and go read it. It's an engineer, he wrote it about 7 years ago where he talked about click-through rates over time on display advertising. How many in here are marketers? Raise your hand. Only a few are willing, dare enough to raise their hands. So I'm a marketer and I can say this. We as marketers over time ruin everything. Because somebody has a good idea, it works, and then we all jump on and we make it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until you get this. So this is the law of shitty click-throughs. This is the first web banner in history. 1974, I think this was? No. Sorry. 1994. So in 1994, this showed up on a tech site. This is the first evidence of clickbait, too, if you read that. Have you ever clicked your mouse right here? Not even knowing what this is, you're going to go click on it. Anybody want to guess what the initial click-through rates for this ad were in the first 4 days? Guess. 90%. Pretty close. 74% click-through rates. Who would kill for a 74% click-through rate today? All of us would kill for that. This is the click-through rate history of display ads. So 1994, that first display ad generated a 74% click-through. By the end of that campaign, it had already dropped to 44%. And by this year, if you're lucky, you're getting 0.07% click-through rate on display ads. Anybody want to argue that this business is a long-term deal? This business is dead. You're not going to make a lot of money in this business. Now, IAB will send out a bunch of stuff every single week telling you how display ads are still going to keep going, but this business is dead. So at first, we tested a few theories. First thing we said was, what if we design for the lowest common denominator? Can we fix the click-through rate? So we took this crappy web experience. This same advertiser gave this experience to us for their next go around, and we asked them if we could take it, redesign it, and then split the traffic 50-50 to see if we can improve response. So here's how we redesigned it. We made it look a little bit better. We still allowed the focus to go from those wings to the ad on the page. Anybody want to guess what the click-through rate difference is? That's the click-through rate difference. We saw 195% growth just by thinking more about the consumer experience when we put an ad up. So in visual terms, this is what it looks like. We improved click-through rate on the right wing, 195%, on the left wing, 411%, just by thinking of it from a consumer's perspective. So we said, great, we figured out the click-through rate problem. We're going to go back to 74% click-through rates just by designing better ads. No, we didn't. We asked, how can we translate this into mobile? Because very quickly, 50% of our traffic is going to be mobile. And the answer is this: you can't. This is our desktop site. We average 3 ads per page on a desktop site, and we monetize that at about $9 revenue per 1,000. If you're lucky, you're going to get 1 ad per page view on one of our mobile apps or our mobile responsive sites at a revenue per 1,000 of about 45 cents. So we're staring straight in the face of a 95% revenue decline. You've got to find a new business model. So that's what we've been doing. We use these principles to guide us. News is not a business model. It just isn't. News is content. News creates audience. Monetizing news, really difficult. So our mantra in Marketplace is, how do we make money to subsidize news? Because news is super important. It's important to a community. It's important to your country. It's super important. You just got to find a better way to monetize it so you're not driving away that traffic. Second is create a balanced portfolio. How many of you have investments? None of you have investments? Like, what are we doing? Like, how many of you have investments? How many of you invest in just one thing? What? Do you invest in just one thing? You have to create a balanced portfolio. You have to have investments in different things. Otherwise, when that one thing dies, you're not working until you're 100. You can at least retire with something. And then think different. And by think different, we stole this from Apple, but by think different, we mean hire different. So just real quickly, let me show you the benefit this has been. This is a really terrible chart. This is our CFO's favorite chart, and he just keeps adding more and more colors to it. He gets tired of counting numbers, so this is the limit of his creativity. So if you look at these, the 2009 numbers are in orange. So when we first started, that was the monthly revenue for DDM. We launched Marketplace in 2010, latter part of 2010. And that business has grown significantly. So if you look at the black numbers are our 2014 numbers in revenue growth per month. And our 2015 numbers are even higher, and we're exceeding those plans. Just from a numbers perspective, we went from about $4 million a year at DDM in 2009 to we're just about to break through $40 million this year. That's growth because we found new business models. So I'm going to quickly jump into some of the things that we've done. First of all, this is not who we went and hired the Marketplace team from. We didn't talk to any of these companies. We didn't want anybody with media experience running the Marketplace because we didn't want any legacy ideas holding us back. We said, you keep running legacy media, that's what you guys are good at. Let us find Marketplace people and run Marketplace. So we hired from companies like this. Omniture, YNR, which is one of the largest marketing agencies in the US. Overstock.com, Ancestry.com, Franklin Planner. We hired from e-commerce companies or consumer to marketing companies or agencies. And then we found different revenues. So this is a great slide to show you where we started looking at what the potential was. See that little teeny green line on the bottom there? Between 2011 and 2017, that's the revenue forecast for online display advertising. The orange line is the revenue forecast for e-commerce, all kinds of e-commerce, hard goods e-commerce, soft good e-commerce. But that delta between the two, we're still going after the stuff to the green line, but we want to open us up to stuff between the green and the orange line. Here's the slide for mobile. Mobile's even bigger. Mobile advertising is the green line. I mean, that's still $11 billion in 2017. That's a sizable revenue pool to go after. But I'd like to go after that and the $516 billion mobile commerce money as well. So we launched these 3 verticals. We had the classifieds vertical. We have 4 products in that vertical. We launched local commerce, which is a local directory. We also have a deals site, like a Groupon competitor, and we have a shop site, which focuses on small and independent retailers in our state. We try to give an online presence to those small retailers who can't get one otherwise. And then we also launched a travel vertical. We bought a site called Utah.com. We did a quick test on our deals site to see if we could sell travel deals. They sold really well, so we said, let's get into travel. We bought Utah.com, which was an up and running site. We're in the process of rebuilding that. I'll show you at the end an example of what that's going to look like. And then we also own many domains that are travel related that we can expand. We built this, we created a balanced portfolio. So these are the 10 sites that we run in the marketplace. This is not our news site. This is revenue distribution between those sites. So the blue is display ad revenue. The orange is non-display ad revenue, so things like listings, sponsorships within listings, and then the last is e-commerce. When we got here, of the products that existed, all of them were in blue, at least 80 to 90% in blue. Now we have 10 products. Of those 10 products, I only have 2 left that are dependent on display ads. One of them probably always will be. General classifieds is super hard to monetize. It's hard to monetize somebody selling their old couch. But homes, with the launch of our new homes product this summer, that will soon look like cars, which is significantly more focused on generating money on the things that people are coming to look for, which are car listings, not the display ads around cars. I'm going to show you a couple examples of products that we've done this on. So this is KSL Local. It's our local directory. Really what we said is we need to find a way to make money without any display ads in a local merchant space. So I'm just going to zoom in on that navigation, and you can see each of those verticals, how we make money. So 4 of the verticals, services, events, activities, and businesses, we make money first and foremost on listings, charging merchants to be on the site. Then enhancing the promotion of those listings. We do have a self-serve display component, so if somebody wants to go and put a display ad on, they can. And then lead gen, so we charge per lead. Calls, clicks, or emails, we'll charge per those. Then we have in this vertical also deals, which is 100% e-commerce. Restaurants, which is affiliate revenue, so a relationship with Open Table. Fulfillment revenue, so we're in the process of building. How many of you know Grubhub or Seamless? Grubhub and Seamless are both, you order it online through a third party, a restaurant then delivers it to you, and you don't order it on the restaurant site. So we're in the process of building out that product, and then you charge the restaurants a percentage for delivering that food. And then movies, same deal. We have a relationship with Fandango where we showcase a movie. If they buy tickets through our site, we get an affiliate spiff from Fandango. This one I'll go through quick. This is our deals product. So we sell, this is 100% e-commerce. We sell hard goods and soft goods through this product. We have a cart. We run all of this through here. We fulfill it. Real estate, this is our new homes product. Not a single display ad on the homes page for the homes product. Everything is monetized through the top here will be a sponsorship from a brokerage, and then all of these listings are paid listings. This is what a search results page looks like. For rent, we partnered with a company called Rentler in our for rent space, so apartments for rent. We make money on monetizing apartments. If you want to be in our apartment flow, you have to be there, but you have to pay to be there. But the way we make money is really through landlord services. So landlords can collect online rent payments. They can do credit and background checks, which cost a fee. They can also do application fees. We make money through the back-end services, not on ads on the site. And then lastly, travel. So this is the site we bought 2 years ago. It's Utah.com. This is the business model. So all of our travel and tourism clients pay to play. They pay a low fee, like $25 a month, to have their business on the site. Then they pay to enhance promotion of their business on different parts of the site. And then they pay us per call, click, or email. And we peg the pricing at what Google would charge for AdWords. So if you're in Salt Lake City and you're looking for hotels, we go into Google, we figure out how much the hotels in Salt Lake City term is. We discount that because we aren't Google, but then we charge our clients for every call, click, or email that comes to them from our site based on that Google pricing model. We also have a full shop, e-commerce shop in here. We sell maps and shirts and things like that about Utah. And then we also book rooms. So we actually started with our own booking engine, realized that that's become a commodity, so we partner with Booking.com. How many are familiar with Booking.com? So Booking.com has a really simple integration. Booking.com pays us percentage of every room night sold on Booking.com. So I want to jump out of the presentation real fast and show you what Utah.com looks like, because it's the best example of what I'm talking about. So this is old Utah.com. Maybe. It's terrible. Just trust me. Old Utah.com is terrible. This is new Utah.com. Uh-oh. That's even worse. Oh, bummer. I'll have to show you a slide of this one. Everybody can see that? Can I not get a website to display up on there? Oh, bummer. All right, so here is newutah.com. This is just the top of the fold, but really there's not a single display ad on the website. This will be, at least in our quiver, maybe in the country, we think this is the first 100% native ad website. Everything looks evergreen. It looks like it belongs on the site. It looks like the stuff that consumers are coming for. We're not baiting and switching. If you search for something, we're going to promote businesses up in first view for you, but it better be absolutely relevant to what you're searching for. We're not showing you anything that you're not searching for. What we found when we conducted tests were when you remove anything that makes it look like an ad, even like a little banner that says this is a featured or sponsored ad, when you remove that, you increase click-through rate by up to 50%. People will click on stuff if it's relevant to their search. You don't have to put ads in front of them for them to click on. And lastly, these are just a really quick, just a brain dump of a lot of the things that we're doing on, but this is what that's led to. And the most important slide for us, so when we started, in 2011, Marketplace was about 11% of total revenue. This year, we're going to hit 50%. Marketplace will hit 50% of total revenue. And all of the products that we're building represent 70% of DDM's total revenue. So if you roll on display ads onto what we're doing, 70% of our business is now coming from Marketplace. And 48% of that total DDM number is not display ads. Again, I'll leave you with this slide. When you're building your businesses, whether you're building a news business or a separate marketplace businesses or event businesses, you have to diversify. You've got to build products that make money in different ways. That ensures a long runway for you to continue your businesses long into the future. Thanks.